Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my view from the 40. Now, when I do these vlogs, especially when I'm recapping a home game, at some point, usually towards the end, I like to give a little love to the Ottawa REDBLACKS cheer and dance team. This time, I want to do that at the beginning. Pretty good day for the cheer and dance team. They started off on the CTV morning live show, doing some dances, talking about what was upcoming, and they said there were going to be exciting things. I didn't know one of those exciting things meant that we were going to be saying, "Welcome back, Connor." Now, for those of you who don't know who Connor is, Connor has been a member of the cheer and dance team for the last few years. And it looked like he was going to be leaving the team because he was going to be pursuing the aspect of actually joining a CFL team as a kicker. And let me tell you something. I've seen him in action, and this man can kick. He can kick far, and he can kick accurately. Now, it's kind of bittersweet seeing him on the sidelines with the cheer and dance team because it means that his dreams haven't been realized yet. And I emphasize yet because I think it's only a matter of time. I want to send a huge shout out to Connor because I have a lot of respect for anybody who chases their dreams. And if you ever have the opportunity of seeing this man do what he loves to do, you will join me in understanding that it is only a matter of time before a team picks him up because this man has got skills. Now, with that said, let's get to the football game. You know, you go around Ottawa this morning and people seem to be a little sad. They're like, it was a good game, but it's too bad it ended in a tie. We should have won that game, they're saying. And for the most part, they're right. But also, Ottawa came dangerously close to losing that game. Now, I've said before, and I'll continue to say, football is a team sport. It isn't won by one player. It isn't lost by one player. You win as a team, you lose as a team. And that was very true last night because there were clearly some gaps from a kicking perspective. There were a lot of points that were left on the table. Missed field goals, missed extra points. So you think to yourself, well, the kicking game's not jiving the way it should be. But that's okay because you know who was on point last night? The defense. When you go through stats, you'll see touchdowns, you'll see reception yards, you'll see rushing yards. I wish there was a stat that said game-saving plays because Ottawa had a bunch of them last night. Probably the biggest one was in the second overtime. On the first play, Calgary got, I believe it was a 29-yard reception right down to the Ottawa 4-yard line. So it's first and goal from the 4. That's it. They're going to score a touchdown. Don't count out Ottawa's defense because they stuffed them and forced them to kick a field goal. That was huge because if they had scored a touchdown and Ottawa hadn't, Calgary would have won the game. There are things that are worse off in life than tying with Calgary, believe me. I've got a lot of respect for Calgary, mainly because if you look at the brain trust of that team, it's hard to get better. John Huffnagel, their GM, Dave Dickinson, one of the greatest CFL minds out there as their head coach, and of course their quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, gets to benefit from all of that. Coming into the game, you heard so much about Calgary's defense and their top 4 cornerbacks. Unfortunately, either they didn't take their Wheaties or they weren't prepared for Mr. Chris Williams. And we've got to talk about Chris Williams, the breakout receiver for the Ottawa REDBLACKS this season. Already he has 493 receiving yards in the first 3 games. Just to put that in perspective, that means he's basically run the whole field like 4.5 times in the first 3 games. It's like nobody can cover this man. And here's the most exciting part about him. I call him Mr. Yak. Yak, and that's for YAC, yards after the catch, and I'll tell you why. It is so wonderful seeing this man play. He catches the ball, and he's got the defender maybe 2 or 3 yards in front of him. And he looks at the defender, and I can't hear what they're saying, but in my mind, Chris Williams is probably saying something like, "Oh, you're in trouble now." Because Chris Williams dekes, and then he's picking up another 10 or 15 yards. The amount of energy and effort that he puts into getting those extra yards and making sure that he's going above and beyond what he has to do is just phenomenal. Now, he's going to be getting a lot of recognition, and rightfully so. He had 130 yards last night. But you also have to give a lot of respect to the other men in the receiving corps because with them running their routes and setting things up, it puts Chris in a position to get open. So I want to give the entire offense credit for his success because I think collectively everyone's doing a great job. So coming out of the game, I think Ottawa did a lot of great things. There's obviously some things that they need to work on. But at the end of it, they're still undefeated. They are the only undefeated team 3 weeks into the season. This is a wacky season, and to me, it's still wide open. It's only the 3rd week, and we've got a long way to go. So strap in. What did you guys think of the game last night? Feel free to send me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. CFL_fan on Twitter. You can send me some tweets or what have you, and I'd love to hear from you. Facebook.com/WhittyWhittier and WhittyWhittier.com. You know what? We didn't get the win last night, but great effort all around. And again, big up to the defense for stepping up and doing everything they could to keep Ottawa in the game. And we're going to come out strong this week against Toronto. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for checking this out. My name is Keith, and that's my view from the 40.